Peppa's new baby sister. How exciting! Peppa and her family were in the living room. It was George's turn to choose a movie. Daddy, said Peppa, George is taking ages. We have to be patient, Peppa, says Daddy Pig. Just like you've been patient waiting for the baby. When is the baby coming, Mummy, said Peppa. Oh, sorry, Peppa, said Mummy Pig. The baby's not due until next week. Click. No. Click. No. No, actually, said Mummy Pig. Make that now. Now? Said Daddy Pig. Yes, said Mummy Pig. We need to leave for the hospital right now. Hee hee. Peppa, George, said Daddy Pig, grab the hospital bag and prepare the sandwiches. I'll get my favourite toy and book. Peppa and George giggled. Daddy! Oops, I meant all of that, but the other way around, said Daddy Pig. Go, go! Granny and Grandpa Pig were already waiting at the hospital when everyone arrived. Hello, Peppa and George, said Granny Pig. Isn't this exciting? You can both come back to our house now and we'll leave Mummy and Daddy to it. Go? Why? Said Peppa. I want to stay and help with the baby. This could take hours, Peppa, said Mummy Pig, giving her a hug. Besides, I need you to keep an eye on George for me. Okay, Mummy, said Peppa. And I'll call as soon as the baby is born, said Daddy Pig. Peppa and George said goodbye to Mummy and Daddy Pig. But when they got to Granny and Grandpa Pig's house, Peppa still looked a bit sad. Are you okay, Peppa? Asked Granny Pig. Oh, I want to be with Mummy Pig, said Peppa. Oh, sweetheart, said Granny Pig, putting her arm around Peppa. Tell you what, while we wait for Daddy to call, I can tell you about the time your mummy was born. That's right, said Peppa. You're my mummy's mummy. So, said Granny Pig, let's start with the trip to the hospital. When the baby finally decided she couldn't wait to meet us. I'll drive, said Peppa, as they all played pretend together. Brum, hoppy-tail, said George. Brum, brum. We went inside to meet the doctor and the midwife, said Granny Pig. I'm the doctor, said Peppa, and then she pointed at George. And this is me wife. Just then the phone rang and interrupted the story. That'll be Daddy Pig, said Granny Pig. But it wasn't. It was just someone wanting to sell something. Everyone carried on with the story. The doctor and midwife made me very comfortable, said Granny Pig, as Peppa and George helped her sit in a chair. But just as she got comfy, ring, ring, the phone rang again. Grandpa Pig picked it up, but it wasn't Daddy Pig. It was someone else trying to sell something. Not now, thank you, said Grandpa Pig. When it was time for the baby to be born, continued Granny Pig, we went into the birthing room with the midwife and George left and came back with a bundle. Dinosaur! Grrr! He was pretending Mr. Dinosaur was the new baby. I hope the baby doesn't have big, sharp, pointy teeth. The phone rang again. I've had enough of these sales calls, says Granny Pig. We don't need anything. Goodbye, she said, and she hung up. Oh, said Daddy Pig, who was on the other end of the phone. You don't suppose that was actually Daddy Pig, do you? Said Grandpa Pig. Uh-oh. The phone rang again. Hello, said Grandpa Pig. Good news, everyone, says Daddy Pig. Mummy Pig is tired, but well, and we have a healthy baby girl. Wonderful, said Granny and Grandpa Pig, delighted. We have a little sister, George, cheered Peppa, jumping up and down. Look how cute the baby is. Granny and Grandpa Pig took Peppa and George to the hospital to meet their new baby sister. How are you, darling? Granny Pig asked Mummy Pig. Very tired, Mum, said Mummy Pig, but so happy. Baby, said George. Ah, hello, baby, said Peppa. I'm your big sister. Baby, said George. Look, she's got a heart on her cheek, said Peppa. That's a birthmark, Peppa, said Daddy Pig. Isn't it lovely? So what's her name? Said Granny Pig. We haven't quite decided yet, said Daddy Pig. I can help, said Peppa. I will find the perfect name for the baby. While Daddy Pig packed the bags, Peppa had some questions. Is your favourite colour red or blue? She asked the baby. Gurgle. Very interesting, said Peppa. Okay, next question. Mummy or Daddy? Pfft. Oh, the baby made another funny sound, followed by a funny smell. Ew. As they were leaving the hospital, Peppa spotted some chocolate in a machine. Got it, said Peppa, looking at her baby sister. I name you Chocolate. That's very sweet, Peppa, said Mummy Pig, but maybe not quite right. On the way home, Peppa saw a lady. Ooh, what's your name? She said. Hello there, said the lady. My name's Linda. Good, said Peppa. Baby, I name you Linda. Well, that's a nice name, said Mummy Pig, but not quite right for this little one. Peppa looked around for more ideas. Maybe we could name his baby Seatbelt or baby traffic lights. Lovely, said Mummy Pig, but those still aren't quite right. Baby doorknob, said Peppa when they arrived at home. Daddy Pig took Peppa aside. When we choose a name for someone, he said gently, we try to choose a name that means something special. Okay, Daddy, said Peppa as he held her hand and they walked inside. Granny and Grandpa Pig were waiting for them in the living room. Grandpa Pig handed a photo album to Mummy Pig and said, a family album with lots of room for pictures of the little one. Thank you, said Mummy Pig. It's beautiful. Peppa spotted a picture of a lady in a special dress. Wow, she's amazing, said Peppa. That's my aunt, said Grandpa Pig. She always made people smile. What's her name? Asked Peppa. Evie, said Grandpa Pig. Peppa thought for a moment. Evie was a lovely name and perfect for her baby sister. She pointed at her and said, Evie. Mummy Pig thought for a moment. I've always loved the name Evie. Gurgle, gurgle, said Evie. She likes it too, said Peppa. Hello, baby Evie. I promised I'd find you the perfect name, didn't I? Well done, Peppa, said Daddy Pig. Evie loves the name Evie. Everyone loves the name Evie. What a very special baby sister. And a very special day. Wow, I loved that story. So Peppa and George have a new baby sister named Evie. I wonder what exciting adventures they'll get up to. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed.